Hi there, folks. It is 6:30 in the morning. Woke up a little early to get out. We're heading very slowly into Belfast. The fog has lifted. All I can say is, it feels like I'm doing something. Like I don't know, doing something I'm meant to do. I've just read about this place and people who've worked here for so long, so it's pretty meaningful. So, still fingers crossed about whether or not I'm going to get off in time and all that. But this has already been pretty cool to be in these waters. All right, folks, good news. So I should be off the boat by 11:30, and then I'll have till 5. So I've got plenty of time to get to the museum, plenty of time to enjoy my time in Belfast. So the next clip you see should be me walking, actually, I'm going to be getting off in Europe for the first time in my life. So pretty cool. All right, I'm back on the cruise ship. I am back in my cabin. I am absolutely exhausted, and we are already departing Belfast as we speak. The day went by way too quickly. I've been waiting for this day my entire life, and it's already over, but it was everything I could have asked for and so much more. Before I completely forget all the things I felt today, as I've been doing for the whole voyage, let's go through pretty much everything that happened on day 9 in Belfast, Northern Ireland. So first thing, we took a taxi over to the Titanic Museum and walked around the entire thing. It took quite a while, probably like an hour and a half. Very, very intense museum. I was surprised. It was very, very different from, like, I guess, an American Titanic museum. They're usually very interactive, those exhibits, like, put your hand in a bucket of water and see how cold it was, or put on this headset and listen to the Morse code. There was some of that in this museum, but it was mostly informational. It was mostly plaques and pictures with captions. But there is no more comprehensive Titanic story than that exhibit, that museum. It kicks off with Belfast in the earlier, way before shipping was a thing in Belfast, when they were just making linen, and that's what they were known for. And then the shipbuilding companies, and then Harland and Wolff, and then White Star Line, and then you get the full story. The coolest thing I saw at the museum, though, was for the first time in my life, I saw an original Olympic Titanic plan, number 400-1, 401. It was like a displacement plan. So cool. But yeah, that was the museum part of the day, and then we headed out to grab something to eat. Next up was the hotel across the street, the Titanic Hotel, which used to be the drawing offices of Harland and Wolff, and the headquarters, all the administrative offices of Harland and Wolff. The hotel is gorgeous. The renovations they've done, it's magnificent. The picture that you've all seen of the Harlan and Wolff drawing office, that's where the restaurant is now. And then the other drawing office is a event space. But a lot of the administrative offices are still preserved as if it's, I mean, they're mostly like boardrooms now for conferences and whatnot, but they're very much 1912 interiors. The concierge at the hotel, his name was William. He was the sweetest man ever. He gave me a personal 1 hour tour of every single room. We sat down in every room together and he talked about the room and, just gave me every bit of information I could possibly want. He was amazing. William, thank you so much. Made my trip. Got to go into Thomas Andrews' office. Hard to top Thomas Andrews' office. Just to imagine the walk from the front door down the hall to that office. I mean, that walk that he made, those doors that he opened. I mean, it's pretty wild. Also went into the presentation room. Presentation room was very cool. Big, beautiful building overlooking the drawing offices. I've heard about this room, but it's like just still there as if it's still a presentation room. Very cool. Okay, next up, the slipways. I went across to behind the museum. I was trying to save the best for last, this and the Nomadic. The slipways where Titanic and Olympic were built side by side. Probably my favorite part of the day, like in terms of emotion and being able to connect with this ship. To be standing where it was built was just outrageous. What they've done with the slipways is so great. The outline of the ship to just show how big it is, and then they have some of the boat deck or some of the exterior decks mapped out. They even have benches to sit on in places where benches were on the boat deck and the poop deck and whatnot. Very clever. It's just magnificent to stand there in the spot where she was born, on that river in that town. It's hard to put into words what that meant to me personally. And of course, you cannot visit the Titanic Museum without boarding the SS Nomadic. I boarded Nomadic, and as I walked in, I touched the metal, hull above your head as you walk on. And it's like touching the metal that was used to make Titanic. It's like walking on the wood used to make Titanic. Everything that you're touching and walking on and interacting with, these are things that were used to build Titanic for the most part. A lot of it was renovated, but just to sit on the benches, I mean, I was very much in tears just being on board for the first 5 minutes. I needed to like collect myself because I couldn't quite believe it. But the coolest thing about Nomadic by far is that everything you're looking at is designed the same way as Titanic. The way the ceilings are held up. They're held up by the same pillars, little poles with the same bracket, with the same amount of screws. The bulwarks outside on like what would be the well deck for Titanic are held up by the same braces. The bollards are the same. The light bulbs are screwed into the same floral design. It's weird. It's trippy to just touch these things that are probably as close to Titanic as you can touch, outside of an artifact. You really get an idea of Titanic that you can't get anywhere else. Last thing I did, I walked up Queens Road to the Thompson Graving Dock and the pump house. This was something I knew I wanted to see, mostly because it's in Demo 3. It's just like one of those things. Like I've seen that in the video game, and then the fitting out wharf would be, you know, right behind it. It was closed. They're renovating something, so I got as close as I could, took some pictures. Pretty incredible to see that after seeing pictures of it for years. And then, you know, I walked just a little bit farther, and then there's the fitting out wharf. I can't help but feel like I didn't do enough. I mean, I only had 5.5 hours, but you know, I don't think it matters how much time you have, you know, you're waiting for a certain day to sort of pay your respects, to sort of close a chapter in this Titanic book of your life. It's 5.5 hours or 24 hours. It's just never enough time. But that's sort of it for day 9 of this cruise. The transatlantic portion of this journey has ended because we've officially arrived over here. So now we bounce around a bit. Tomorrow is Dublin, and then Liverpool the next day. So, what a day. Thanks for joining me on it. If you can get to Belfast, you got to do it one day. It's a special place. I'll see you folks tomorrow. We'll see what Dublin's all about. All right.